Being an artist has its ups and downs. In order to be successful as an artist, you really need perseverance and grit. You have to be really strong. I tend to turn to the Bible when things get a bit difficult on this artistic journey. You know, and as Proverbs 24:10 says, if you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is small. Because if we let hardships knock us down, we will never aspire to the heights that we aim to aspire to. I've seen many of my peers who are former artists, fall off their artistic path because things get difficult. I can be somewhat compassionate towards it, but I really can't relate to it too much, or think about it too much of why they quit. Because as an artist, being an artist and continue being an artist, right? You've been given a gift, okay? You've been given a gift from God, okay? And to squander that, to stop being who you are, you know what I'm saying, and to relinquish that spark as an artist, I think is one of the biggest FUs you can give to God. I believe. Okay, God has given you a gift to create and to cultivate. Because remember, God is the greatest artist of all time. Okay, because from Him came the Word, and from the Word came the world. Okay, and we got a spark of that as an artist to create. Okay, we can create our own reality through our own will. That's the beauty of it. But a lot of the reasons why most artists do give up, coupled with the fact that it's hard, is because of the lack of support that they get from their parents. Okay, and I understand. You know what I'm saying? Because in the parents' eyes, being an artist is a very risky and not secure path. But then again, think about this, okay? Is any path in life secure? And I want to turn to Job 14:1. And in Job 14:1, it states that a man who is born of a woman is few of days and full of trouble. Which basically means that if you don't have God in your corner as an artist, and if you don't accept Jesus Christ in your heart as Lord and Savior, you're going to fall short. And things are going to be very, very difficult for you, because at the end of the day, you don't necessarily need the support of your parents, to succeed as an artist. You just have to constantly first believe in God and believe in God's purpose that He set for you here on earth as an artist to create in His name. Furthermore, I think sometimes we kind of forget that as we grow older, as we become our own adults, men and women, that we end up becoming our own individuals, separate from that the views of our parents. As you get older and you start having more experiences in life, you start developing your own values, your own morals, okay? That your parents will never honestly relate to, because your parents are not living your life. You're living your life. You're gonna see and experience things that they cannot even contemplate. Okay, because sadly, most parents will never see you past the crib. They will never see you past being their child, their baby. Okay, but once you venture out into the world and you start creating in God's name, right? You start to really see how dark and vile this world is as an artist. Because as an artist, we tend to see everything and intake everything on a much more higher level than regular folks. Okay, that's one of the burdens of being an artist, and that's why a lot of artists too, what I'm saying, they can't cope with how vile reality is, and they turn to drugs and sex and whatever else to numb the reality that they're living in. But beyond that point, okay, to get back to the whole parent point, right? It doesn't really matter, man. You can't live for your parents' approval anymore. I don't think you ever should to begin with, right? You gotta live for God's approval, okay? How are you living your life? What are the things you're creating? Does it please God? That's the only thing that matters, because at the end of the day, your parents' life, what they're doing may not even be right in God's eyes, okay? That's just a fact. Just keep it a buck with you, okay? You have to create and live your life in a way that it pleases God and God alone, not your parents, okay? And once you have that foundation, okay, of living for God's approval, not only like your parents' opinions won't matter, like the opinions of the world won't matter anymore, okay? It really won't, because that's your foundation. God is your foundation, okay? God's approval, okay, is your foundation. And there is a type of strength that comes with that, your parents should never really understand, okay? Because living righteously and leading by example, okay, is one of the main principles of being a Christian in this world. Which brings me to, this conversation I had with my mom recently, okay? My mom wants me to be happy. She wants me to be successful. She wants me to thrive, and she wants the best for me. That's what all parents want, right? But during the whole conversation, God never came into the viewpoint, into what she wanted for me, right? She wanted me to be happy in this worldly and material world and all these fleeting things, and that stuff is cool and all in the temporary, but it really means absolutely nothing in the eyes of God, okay? Because God always says, you can be in this world, but don't be of this world, okay? You don't have to assimilate to this depraved and degrading culture that's been pushed, what I'm saying? It's being pushed like on a daily basis, It's, like when you walk around and you observe and you stay quiet and you look at people, right? They're just lost in sin, and they're just living for themselves and for pleasure. The Bible says not to judge and whatever else, right? But listen, we're human beings. We're all going to judge, and if you're going to judge, you're always going to judge based on the foundation, whether or not you are living the life of those sinners, right? I need to look up that Bible verse, but everyone judges, right? And you can see, what is right and what is wrong, literally, okay? Because if there is no, if we were supposed to judge, we all will be out here doing a bunch of dumb foolishness. Let's keep it a buck with you. You know what I'm saying? Our judgments allow us to make the right decisions, and sometimes the wrong decisions, okay? But if you see someone living a way that you don't approve of, right, and that you know is wrong, okay, then why would you want to associate yourself with these people and this way of life, okay? And that's, and I live in a, pretty popular place, and I just look and I observe and I just see all of this, and I just hear the things that they talk and the things that they do, and I'm just like, you guys are just lost, but it's not my place to, tell you how to live your life. That's something that I don't want to do. That's something that a lot of Christians fail at doing, right? They want to impose their will upon other people's lives and choices, and that's not the way. But just go back to the whole parent point, honestly kind of just made me sad a little bit that my family has strayed away from God. I'm saying? We've always been a church going family. I was raised in the church, but for whatever reason, my family has kind of drifted away from that, and I would say I'm the most strictly religious person in my family. I've always had a issue with the churches that we would go to, because I would see people doing one thing in church, but then as soon as they would leave church, they wouldn't follow through with the principles that have been said in the Bible, and that never stuck right with me. I always questioned that. I've developed over time my own understanding that's a more literal and stricter understanding of the Bible, that I follow to the T, while I try to, because it's very hard, in this world with all these temptations and these fleshly desires. It's difficult, what I'm saying? But, I read the Bible, constantly to keep me on track, and that's the only thing that matters, That really is the only thing that matters. As I speak the word to my family and stuff, I find it difficult to connect with them, as time progresses. And, I want the best for them. Honestly, I know they want the best for me, but I wish they would be more closer to their faith, because I feel like they wouldn't be in so much trouble. They wouldn't be suffering so much if they just, got back to the foundation of God. But, I can't do that. I can't impose my will on other people. And I think, I think one thing that kind of like, makes me a little bit more sad, that you would assume that, your family would be happy to see you grow in faith, I'm saying, instead of, growing towards these worldly possessions. And I remember I, brought up my faith to my mom, and she even started questioning, like, are you trying to like use the Bible to hide something away from, like you're trying to hide something? Like, what does that even mean? You know what I'm saying? What does that even mean? Okay. The Bible keeps me grounded. My faith in Christianity keeps me grounded, keeps me centered and focused on the truth. But what I have to do with my time here, okay? Well, hide for what? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's a sin. That's wrong to hide who you are and hide your faith, you know, so for the approval of these people, these worldly, materialistic people who know nothing of themselves, right? And they just live for themselves and they live for the pursuit of pleasure. And every single time you just hear them complaining, suffering, you know what I'm saying? Complaining about the suffering that they brought upon themselves because of their choices. Literally, because of their choices. And I don't feel sad or pity for them because they know the truth. Everyone believes in God, but they choose not to believe in God. That's the thing. They choose not to. They choose to go their own way, thinking that their choices are the right choices, and their choices are not grounded in faith. And that's why they suffer. That's why bad things happen to them. And all I can do is sit back and observe. Literally, sit back and observe and lead by example. Okay? That's the only thing. Because people don't listen. You can talk and talk and talk and talk, but people do not listen. They don't care. So they have confirmation bias. They want to hear what they want to hear. Okay? But if you show them the way, show them that you're living righteously and correctly, and they see all the good things that are happening for you, they might think to themselves, okay, what is it that this person over here is doing? Okay, let me follow him and follow what he's doing. Maybe my life will improve. Okay, but the thing is, it's easier to be bad and do bad things than it is to be good and live righteously. Okay, it's hard. Okay, but it is a choice. It really is a choice, and I choose to live righteously. I choose to follow and obey God's commands. Okay? Material success is transient and fleeting, but spiritual growth, that will last in eternity. And the more I create my art in God's name, the closer I get to understanding my purpose on earth that He's put me here for. So, your family, your family may be concerned about, your material success. I'm saying it's just natural. It's a natural human thing, a natural worldly thing to be worried about your child's success in this world. All right, but listen, be true to who you are as an artist. Be true to who you are in your faith as a Christian. But I want to end this video with Matthew 6, verse 19 through 21. And in this verse it says, "Do not lay upon yourselves the treasures of this earth, but lay upon yourself the treasures that wait for you in heaven. For where your treasure is, that is where your heart will also be." And that's a very, very powerful verse, because basically the way I interpret this verse is that focus on what awaits you for living a righteous life. Focus on that, because that was eternity. You focus on the things here on this material world, it's fleeting, it's temporary, okay? And you're living for a temporary moment. Because when you focus on the goodness of living a righteous life and what awaits you as a reward for living that righteous life, right? You have no other choice but to have faith. Have faith in God and have faith in yourself. Not in these things, these material things. You can't bring them with you. They mean nothing really. They don't. All of this is just temporary. Okay? So, as you guys, stay true in your foundation in God and creating His name, and don't stop being an artist. Okay? Don't give up your gift. Okay? Out of fear of parents' approval or fear of the world's approval. It doesn't matter. Create and live righteously. Okay? Take care, guys. God bless, and I will see you in the next video.